Now we come to the main event, He-Man. I love John Irwin's portrayal of He-Man. Every other version, I've just found it a bit hard to get into him. But, he was kind, gentle, he was strong. And he never would have thrust the sword into Skeletor. He tried everything without being violent. And in one episode, it showed you that when something did happen and it looked like it was He-Man's fault, he relinquished the sword of power and became Prince Adam again, until Orko sort of told him. There was times, he wanted to let Teela know he was Prince Adam, but there seemed to be some sort of love connection between them. And as the sorcerer says, you can't let anyone know your secret, because it puts your family in danger. You being He-Man is the thing that keeps them safe, including Teela. And Teela with He-Man, good kick-ass duo. They take on Evelyn and Skeletor, or even Skeletor try and tangle with Teela, and sometimes she'd outwit him, but not always. But this version of He-Man I did like, and that's what I grew up on. Now we come to the new adventures of He-Man. It was still strong and powerful. It's just it really threw me for a loop seeing this new version. Not as biggish muscular, but he had blue pants, a brown strap, and different style sword and a ponytail, and it took me a while to really get into this one. At first I wasn't really liking it, the voice, but then eventually I was okay with it. There's just some things about it, it's just like, I can't put my finger on this. Just, eventually I got to like him. It took a hell of a long time because I was used to the original cartoon and the original figures, because that's how I got into all of this. It just sort of threw me a bit, and I'm like, right, I need to get an handle on this. And it took a bit of time, but I eventually got used to it. I'm just talking about the cartoon versions. Eventually I did. Now we come to the 2002, and whoa, didn't he look really big? And sort of with the origins and everything, and with King Grayskull, and that's where he gets his power from. But he was forceful, commanding. This was a lot darker. It threw me for a loop because I wasn't used to seeing He-Man this really big buff and different, the harness was a different colour, and it just took me a while to get into this version of He-Man like it did with the New Adventures. And I was trying my best, but I eventually got won over. And then he got a second sort of armour, which was like snake armour to fight the Snake Man. And I've got to say, it did win me over in the end. It just took a while, because this sort of version of the cartoon was slightly different, edgy, and I think I'm just used to, people not trying to stab each other. But in this, Skeletor was pretty ruthless and badass, and, more than he uses, but he was still wisecracking. He-Man fighting him, Teela joining up with He-Man and being a total badass that she was. Really kick-ass. But that being said, I was really impressed. Different versions of He-Man, including the comics, I saw exactly what he was like that. Same with Teela, same with Skeletor and everybody else. It just takes some time getting used to, and as I say, the Revelations is not a sequel to Filmation. They're taking aspects off of everything else. But you can either like it or not. Now we come to Revelations He-Man. I just wish the voice was different from Prince Adam to He-Man. It's just how He-Man looked. The head looked a bit too small for his body, but it was still the hulking beast, and he still did his, showing his power and everything. But when he died, that threw me for a loop, and we didn't see him change back into He-Man, but you saw flashbacks. I was sort of getting into it, and I'm like, okay, the voice is Prince Adam, literally. And, come on, Teela, twig on. Prince Adam's running off, and here comes He-Man. It's so obvious. She twigged on quite a lot in either versions. What more can I say? It was just typical He-Man. As for the figure, a bit too slender for me. It'll take me a while to get used to the voice of this new He-Man. I mean, there's not much more I can say. I mean, it's He-Man. Same as Prince Adam. The teal, it's just where she was coming across put me off. No disrespect to Buffy, but it just didn't really work for me personally. But as for He-Man, it's He-Man, what can I say?